starting now. So everything you say will be now brought on for perpetuity. Eduardo, are you with Tamio? I don't know if I can hear you. Can you maybe put in the chat what school you're from? And I'm going to put that UT Austin is here too. Okay. Maybe. Okay. We're just going to move forward. I'm hoping that everyone can hear me okay. If you can't hear me, just put it into our chat. But I'm going to start sharing my screen so we can go to the little presentation I had. My goal is for this to be less than half an hour long. I think that this is very important information, but at the same time, I also think that we definitely need to talk about this, but I don't think it needs to take a long time because it should be pretty straightforward. So I'm going to share screen now.
Are you looking for the present?
Yeah.
To the right. To the right.
Ah, there we go. Thank you. Okay, so I hope all of you know that October 9th, which is next Tuesday, is the last day to register to vote in Texas, which is why we're doing this today. It's super duper important that you guys are kind of prepared for the last day to register to vote, and and also that you are thinking really thoughtfully about this. I know that's like means the entire same thing, but that's okay. I have Maya Patel with me, who is the Texas Votes interim president, because we thought it made sense to put us in the same room. So a few things to think about. The first one that's super important that is going to vary by county, and so you need to check with your county's voter registrar office. So if it's your clerk or if you have a specific voter registrar, you need to ask them. And that's what time do you have to stop registering voters? In Travis County, and there are a few other counties, I believe possibly Harris, but do not quote me on that because I'm not for sure. The time that you want to stop registering voters is 11:59 p.m. on October 9th. But I know in many counties you have to have those forms turned in by 5 p.m. on election day, or on October 9th. So that is very different by county. So you want to be sure that you are prepared for that. It also means all mail-in registration forms must be postmarked for October 9th. So just putting mail into a post box on October 9th doesn't guarantee that it will be postmarked. Make sure that they haven't taken their mail out for the day, because those people, if it says October 10th on their form, will not get registered to vote. It's best practice if you're doing mail-ins to like walk them into the post office. So I know that all of our schools that we're working with are working within many different environments. So I wanted to think of a few ways that we can all be prepared. If your school has multiple volunteer deputy registrars, make sure you know where they're going to be registering people and who needs help. I know that UT is planning to have like a full list of where all of the different VDRs are going to be. And so from that, students are going to be able to find that person without it being like a huge hassle. We want to make this as easy as possible. Also, have enough voter registration cards on hand. This is almost certainly going to be the busiest day of the year for voter registration. So sometimes you might have trouble getting cards from counties. Let them know what you have planned and let them know ahead of time that you need lots of forms if you have quite a few volunteer deputy registrars on your campus. Additionally, advertise beforehand. Spend this week and then Monday and Tuesday of next week reminding people that the deadline is October 9th, and then letting them know where and how they can get registered to vote. So there are a few different ways to celebrate for National Voter Registration Day, that was last week, for the last day to register to vote. So the first one is a large event. So you can do a bunch of tables, you can bring someone on campus to speak. There are tons of different ways that I've heard of people celebrating this. And I'll have Maya explain in a little bit about how UT is going to celebrate. You can do classroom voter registration. So maybe that is a day where you will go into most of the freshman classes and make sure everyone there is registered to vote. If you typically partner with outside orgs, which I know a lot of the schools in the voting summit do, also feel free to reach out to them and ask them how they plan to celebrate and if your campus can participate. And so I listed a few of the orgs that I know that our Texas schools are participating with. These are not the only orgs that might be helping, but these are the ones that I have seen you all working with, and so I thought it would be a good idea to shout them out. As always, a social media campaign is going to be very, very easy to do, and also will be impactful if you can get key players on your campuses sharing those. So if you have like a student government, have your student government president share this. If sports are very popular at your school, make sure that it's your sports that are sharing. Lastly is a campus-wide email reminder. So if you can get your president to send out a campus-wide email to remind students about registering to vote on October 9th, that will be hugely impactful. It may not be a bad idea for that email to go out on the 8th, so they have a little bit of time to make sure that they're registered, but I think that a campus-wide email is probably going to be your best bet of reminding people. I know at UT that's nearly impossible to do, but at some of the smaller schools, that is a huge possibility that you should absolutely be capitalizing on. So other information you should consider providing as you are doing voter registration is where is the closest polling location going to be for students. Depending on your county, students may be able to vote at any location or they may have to be within their precinct. Find that information out about your county and then be able to point your students to those locations. It's not a bad idea to have little papers that explain early voting and election day dates. Even little business cards are really great for that. If you're not sure what early voting is, it's October 22nd through November 2nd, which includes a weekend. We point especially our STEM students toward voting on the weekend since they have labs all day long during the week. And then election day is November 6th. If your students want nonpartisan voter information, one of the best resources is vote411.org. They also provide sample ballots so that students can see what is on that, what will be on their ballot, and how those people have answered questions posed to them by the League of Women Voters. Lastly, have your students take the pledge to vote with allintovote.org. So I'm going to pull that up really quickly. And so a few ways you guys can utilize this. First of all, they just go ahead and take the pledge. So they fill out this form, which hopefully you all have had your students doing. I should have had this filled out before. So most of this is pretty simple. You guys are going to find out how old I am. But the tricky part on this that I just wanted to show you guys is that when you go to the college student one, make sure that they actually have it pull up on the list. So ours, we have to do the full, there it is, University of Texas at Austin. So if it doesn't pull up, let us know and we can reach out to All-In for you all. But I think that, yeah. So if you are UTRGV, it should be able to pull up no problem, or ooh, okay. If A&M International can't figure out how to make it come up, I will ask them to add that for you guys. And then the other really neat thing, a few other neat things with this website is they have a campus leadership board. So Baylor is the top Texas university currently. And this is kind of a fun way for all of us to compete with one another. And we really want Texas to like take the top 3 spots. So we need to see all of our Texas universities working a little harder to get more pledges. And with the pledges, students are going to get reminders about voting, which are super nice. They also can see state voter guides. So if you go to here and then to Texas, it actually pulls up the Campus Vote Project webpage that gives a whole bunch of helpful information that I would recommend that we share with all of our students. So So now I'm going to turn it over to you guys, and I want to hear what your schools are doing. So first I'm going to have Maya go, and then we have Lauren, and then Eduardo. So we're going to start with Maya talking about what UT is doing.
Yeah, so at UT, Texas Votes and the Civic Engagement Alliance, which is like an alliance of 85 plus orgs, we're going to be having a last day to register rally. So a few different orgs will be tabling all day, like in different locations of campus, so that we cover the whole campus. So tabling from around 8 a.m. to like 5 or 6, depending on the org, to register voters. And then in the evening, we will move to like a big outdoor plaza area on our campus, and be having like pizza and music and registering voters until midnight, because our county does allow us to register voters till midnight. And the idea is that during the day, like, we will have most of campus covered, and then we will register students up until midnight, because a lot of students walk by the area that we're having like the big party at night. And so we're trying to make it fun and make it eye-catching, so that people stop by and are like, oh, what's this? And then realize that it's their last day to register if they haven't done so. It's been really effective in the past. Sometimes we'll even get like our Travis County tax assessor, Bruce, to come and speak, or have like some person that is like a county official that works with elections or voting come and speak, or like the student body president, different speakers. But yeah.
Yeah, there's usually like pizza always. It's a big draw.
Mm-hmm.
And this year we're going to be asking students like, hey, if you're already registered to vote, bring your friends down to get registered, and we will help you. You guys can all get pizza. Things like that. And it's actually provided by the different student organizations. So it's not all on our one student organization to make this happen. So I think we're getting pizza from 2 different organizations. We're going to be providing t-shirts for all of our VDRs. So it's like a really big collaborative effort. It really isn't just one organization that's making that happen.
The other thing we do is, like, I think we did this with the 2016 election, is we have like pledge to vote cards, and you can't exchange pizza for a voter registration, but you can exchange it for a pledge to vote card. And so like, they can get a slice of pizza if they fill out the like voter pledge card.
Yeah, be very, very careful about exchanging anything for voting. You can't do that. It is illegal. So please do not exchange anything for voter registration or a vote. Be very aware of that, because that is a very fast way to get in trouble.
Yeah.
I'm going to unpin my video. And Lauren, let's see if we can hear you. How do you sound?
Hello.
Yeah, great. Do you guys have any plans for the last day to register?
Actually, no, and I know that sounds really bad, but we have a student org that we're trying to get started, very similar to the Civic Engagement Alliance, and so this is actually great. Like, we did stuff last week for National Voter Registration Day, and this week we're in the library tabling all week long during the lunch hour, which is like a really heavy time during our library hours as well, but it's good to hear what you guys are doing, and I definitely want to propose it to that group, since I'm the only one on campus, along with, there's 2 of us who kind of do this as part of our job. And so we're trying to get our students, to kind of take over, since I can't be everywhere. And I'm actually going to be out of town on the 9th. So if I propose this to them, I think this is like a great idea to do similar to what you guys are doing. We probably won't be able to do multiple locations, but at least having one location pretty much all day on Tuesday that we can offer to register students. I think that'd be a really great opportunity. We're really new to civic engagement stuff, and so I think this is good to know that people push this day just as much as they push National Voter Registration Day.
Also, you're at UTRGV?
Yes.
So there is a pretty active Texas Rising chapter.
Yeah.
And I think you should try and get in contact with them, and if you can't figure out who the contact is, we can maybe try and figure out that contact. Yeah, we can help you find it. But I know that they usually do have VDRs on campus and can help with that event.
Yes, so they're actually one of the groups that we reached out to form like our version of the Civic Engagement Alliance. So I have been in contact with like their community rep. I guess I have a question. I know that we have paperwork done with ACT. And so they're able to come onto campus even though they don't have a student org, and so they can register students. But from what I understand, it's kind of tricky to get people to come onto campus and register unless they're students. Is that correct?
That is typically very true.
Okay.
That is at least our experience at UT. Every campus is different, but the way to make that more accessible is if they do have a student organization.
So the students are the only ones who would be able to register them, or they can come on as representatives?
That will depend on your university. Talk to your student activities about that, because I have seen non-UT students or non-university students at other universities doing this work. So I actually think some UT students were at Concordia University, Texas, I believe, during National Voter Registration Day. So I think and I could be wrong, I know it was a UT school that definitely had a UT student there because I knew from her picture. So also just find out from your own university, because if you tell them why, like maybe you can get League of Women Voters on your campus. I just know our rules are very, very, very strict, but we've also had some really big security issues over the last 4 years to make them be that way. I don't think you guys have experienced anything as violent as we have over the last 4 years.
I would assume our rules are very similar since we're still a UT system, but I can definitely ask. And we have been partnering with them already to kind of help. They have a lot of VDRs, and that helps with us having multiple counties that we're trying to register.
Yeah, you have it rough there.
Also, I don't know if you have partnered with the RGV Urge chapter. It's like it's like URGE or something like that. They do like reproductive justice stuff, or it might be URJE, something like that. And I know that they probably do a lot of voter registration work.
Okay. I will look them up. I have access to our student work, so I can look up and see.
Nice.
But yes, we definitely will reach out to Texas Rising and see if they can help us that day, and anyone else. I guess the difficult thing was we have VDRs from Texas Rising, but we don't have many VDRs other than those who are with Texas Rising.
Gotcha.
We're trying, but we have a lot of work to do. So.
Well, and you're just starting, so like also know that we were in a very similar place 4 years ago. Except for our university Democrats, we didn't really have a big group of VDRs on campus, and so this was years of work that we put forward. So we just want to serve as like hopefully an example of something that works and that you can make work for your own universities, because we know that like what we do here maybe won't work at every school. Or like, I went to a very tiny undergrad where if you would actually test the student athletes, that would have been by far the best group to target, whereas here that's just not the case, right? Like, so figuring out what's right for your school is important, and know that like there is no perfect system, because like we only really have to worry about Travis County. You have multiple counties. So your challenges are different, but that's why we all kind of have to figure out how we work within the Texas rules and then what's right for each school. Do you have, because I think we lost Eduardo. Yep, we did. So do you have any other questions for us? Or Maya, do you have any questions you want to pose that would be helpful for the people who watch recorded? Yeah, I feel like I said, this is a lot of this is you need to find out what the case is for the counties that you are in. I'm going to pin us back up so it's not just you watching, Lauren.
Oh, okay.
I'm like, oh, I'm sorry. So I would say like we need to make sure that we are very conscientious of the rules for the counties that we are in. That is like probably the biggest takeaway from this. If you are a VDR, if you have VDRs, I highly recommend making there be a central point to drop off forms so that they get turned in from your university on time. So like for the way it works in Travis County, on October 10th, I will be the drop-off location for UT students, and I will be taking forms in before that deadline, which for us is 5 p.m. on October 10th, which I know is different in other counties. So please look at your county's information. Don't just listen to what is the case in Travis County. That is like by far probably the most important thing. And then think about what is right for your school. Maybe getting into large freshman seminars is the best thing to do. Maybe having a mail-in spot next to the post office is the right thing to do. But think about what works best for your school, and then know that other universities are doing different things, and that we hope everyone is incredibly successful. I know last year we registered over 1,200 students to vote on that last day to register to vote. So it can be a really, really exciting day. even on a year where there is only a primary election. Like that was primary election voter registration. So yeah, if you guys ever have any questions, you can always email me at kbarroquillo@utexas.com or .edu, which is KBARROQUILLO @utexas.edu. Thank you. Good luck.
Thank you.
Thanks.